P.O.L.
I'm not a hoarder, I'm a collector. If you have something you like, every time you see it, you have a little happy hit. What up, y'all? IntraVenus here, back with another episode of P.O.L Game Review and Music, and today I'm going to state my case as to why you might want to start collecting. And when I say collecting, I could be meaning a lot of things. You see, people collect cars, sure, if you're really wealthy. People collect shoes. People even collect hats. Video games. People collect music CDs. They even collect obscure toys. But today I want to tell you why you want to start collecting, and these are some pretty good reasons. And we're going to start off with a question. Have you felt really bored lately? I mean, let's take it back to the pandemic. I was in Colorado in the United States during the pandemic, and a lot of us ended up losing our jobs or having to stay inside for a long time, and a lot of us began collecting things. And one of the main reasons we all started collecting things, I think, is because we were bored. The other one is because of that feeling, that happy hit that you get every time you see or experience something from your past, and that is the feeling of nostalgia. So there are many ways that you can get this feeling, but it will make you feel a lot happier if you surround yourself with nostalgia. And it also might give you something to do. The joy of collecting is not in the possession, but in the anticipation and excitement of the hunt. Assemble rather than collect. This means thinking of the collection as a whole, as a work of art in itself. So the first reason that I'm going to state here is collecting is something great to occupy your time and your mind. If you find yourself with a little bit of extra time and even a tiny bit of extra money, heck, it might not even include any spending money at all, because there's a lot of things that you can collect to help ease your mind, to help give you something to do and something to look forward to. It could be something as simple as collecting photographs that you go out and take yourself with your camera. Hey, I bet you got a camera on your phone. You could collect music that's already digitally available for you and make your favorite playlists. And that's a great way to get nostalgic feelings, is find those songs that you remember from when you were younger. I believe that around every 10 years of our lives, after the first 10 years, we develop enough memories to gather a lot more nostalgic feelings. We get older, and the available options for us to grab these nostalgic happy hits grows for us. So depending on your age, you might want to collect something new, or you might want to collect something old. And collecting can really help use up that extra time, because you can go looking for these things. A lot of the fun is in the hunt. It's just like going and collecting Pokemon, if you will. This is something that is really fun to do. You can go out in the wild. You can do it from your house, on your couch, on your phone, if you're on eBay. You can do so many things, and I think it'll really help you occupy your mind. Collecting can be fun, and it can occupy your time, but it can also occupy your space. One great way to decide what you want to start collecting is to look around your house and find those empty spots that you might be able to fill. A lot of things can be collected and displayed in your house or in your room on shelves or even hanging on the wall. Sealed action figures, especially when they have the peg hooks, are great to hang on the wall and look great on the walls. And every time you see them, just take a second and admire it and grab that happy hit from the past. So decorate your house with your collection. And if you're collecting art, I think that's the perfect way to do it. Collecting can be expensive, but it all depends on what you decide to collect. And another way to decide what you want to collect is to look for something that's worth money, something of value, something that you see is growing in value in the future. You have a special outlook on life, and you've experienced things that some people haven't, and you might have that special bit of knowledge to know what's going to be available next that's worth money. Heck, if you got the money and you understand and you follow the dips and rises in Bitcoin or the stocks, you can collect those. But you can also collect retro video games. And when you're doing something like that, I suggest you look for the game consoles that seem to have had a little bit of a niche. Things like the Virtual Boy, the 3DS, things that sold not too well, or maybe they did sell well, but it's hard to replicate that experience without actually having the original object and or items that go with it, like a 3DS, for example. These type of things will go up in value in the future. Now, it doesn't have to be about value. I don't recommend you collect solely about value unless that is exactly what you're looking for, because value can be hit or miss, and what's worth something one day might not be the next. So first and foremost, if you're going to collect for value, I think you should try to do it with something that you enjoy and you can also get some of those nostalgic feels from. You don't want to be filling your house with a bunch of stuff that you don't even like just because you're hoping it's worth money someday. Unless it's worth money now and you know what you're doing, then go ahead and sell it. But don't be a hoarder. There's a difference between collecting and hoarding. Collecting is, embracing these things. You're building a collection. You're trying to build a work of art, a masterpiece in your mind, all the things that you wanted for your collection. Hoarding is just taking everything you can find and throw it in the corner. If you can't move around in your house, if it's starting to become uncleanly, then you're becoming a hoarder, and just back out of that a little bit. All right. Collecting is awesome in my opinion. For myself, I don't go out a lot. I'm sort of an introverted extrovert. If you hand me a microphone, I'll go ahead and speak to the people. A huge crowd, I'll get up on stage. But otherwise, I don't really like to be around a lot of people. I'm the type of person that likes animals more. And that's okay for me. And it could be okay for you too. If you like people, hey, collecting could be a great way to connect with people, especially your loved ones. You and your significant other can go out searching for these items together. If you find an interest in something, you can collect for the same collection and go out and communicate and, share what your findings are. Hey, I found this rare thing. I found that rare Pokemon. You know what I mean? It's a great thing for brothers and sisters, even parents and children, husbands and wives, friends. There are so many ways that you can, go out together and experience collecting. Collecting could be for someone that is an individual and just looking for that nostalgic feel to make it through the day and to make it through their life. Sometimes you just need to put a smile on your face. And if you don't have anybody else around, then your collection might be able to do that for you. Collecting is something that I look forward to. I've been collecting forever, as far as I know. And you might have been too. When you're a kid, you start to collect toys, and then you get rid of them, and you get older. And then you might have gotten into games, and you got rid of them. You might have had some little collection that your grandfather gave you. When I was a kid, collecting was sort of one of two things. I either thought of an elderly person collecting stamps or coins, or maybe pictured a character like the comic book store guy from The Simpsons. And it doesn't have to be this image, this nerdy image for a collector. People collect all types of things, like I said before. They collect toys. They collect cards of all kinds. There's sports cards, basketball cards, Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering cards, action figures for adults and kids. A lot of people are into Marvel action figures. I like Spawn, but I'm also into these newer hip-hop action figures because I'm a hip-hop artist myself, and I think it's really cool that Reaction is making these toys of some of my favorite hip-hop artists. There are so many things that you can collect. You can collect movies, you can collect VHS, DVD, you can collect live shows, you can collect TV shows. It goes on, and it's up to you to decide what you want, but let me tell you, a life without collecting isn't really one that I want to live. Yeah, it's material possessions, I get that, and hey, I wouldn't really shed too many tears if all of it burnt up in flames, as long as I still had my music and my family and my dog. But at the end of the day, when I look at this stuff, it makes me feel good. It really does. So I hope y'all enjoyed this episode, and if you do, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. It really helps me out and inspires me to make more videos. And until next time, I will catch you on the flip. Peace.
Well, that was just childhood. We were all there together, and in denial would play like it was forever. And in the tall woods, we'd stay out of the weather like it was all good. Every day we made it for pleasure. We were saying whatever came to our minds, plain and simple like a tetherball reaching the sky. We were taking new heights on the swing while it was making us fly.